Hey there guys, Corey here with Slash Gear and Android Community. Today we're taking a look at the LG G2 smartphone. This is their latest flagship device, and as you can see here on the left is the G2 on AT&T. So what we're going to show you here is kind of an unboxing and I guess battle of the buttons with Verizon, because for those that don't know, their press release and announcement had the buttons kind of different with the G2, and the important thing here being, for those that don't know, the buttons are on the back of the G2. So when you're holding the phone, kind of with that familiar, grip that most have, or some kind of use the pinky on the bottom, the buttons are right there and easily accessible for the power, right in the middle, volume up and down. There's a little light in the circle too. But it's a pretty nice, powerful phone. I guess I wouldn't say little. It's a pretty big, powerful phone coming with a 5.2-inch HD display. But you guys should know plenty about the G2 already, but I'll kind of run down them again when I hold the Verizon model in my hand. So quickly pull out the Verizon LG G2, which recently arrived in this fancy, colorful box. And right out of the gate on the front, the devices look extremely similar, but there's quite a bit of difference on the back. But with the usuals, nothing really worthwhile in the box. Throw that aside as well. Don't want to waste your time on that. But quickly here, take a look at both phones on the rear. Here it is, the LG G2, AT&T, and Verizon over here. And you'll quickly notice the Verizon logo on the top. And then on back, if you can see them there's a couple Verizon logos. And then they replace the G2 with LG down below. But one other thing you'll notice is that it's a little thicker, and it's basically just not quite as smooth around the edges. It's a little thicker, and that is because Verizon gave us the G2 with built-in wireless charging. So aside from the buttons, one other difference is wireless charging built in, and they have the exclusive right on that. And then another thing that's kind of odd we noticed here is on the bottom, the G2 has dual speakers, and they sound quite nice and loud. But on the Verizon model here, they must have had to get rid of that, and there's just three little pinholes for the microphone and the speaker down below. So it looks like they got rid of the stereo speakers in favor of wireless charging. And then as you can see, it's definitely smaller. The buttons are smaller. They're not quite as easy to hit. It's not as much of a bump or a lip, though. It's basically flat, as you can see that. So Verizon might have kind of opted to take that route. But the curved edges are not quite as easy to hit, and sometimes I feel like they almost get stuck, or your finger kind of hits it. This is just a smoother, very simple process. I'm kind of a fan of the original more than Verizon. That 13 megapixel camera's got that huge ring around it for protection. But real quickly here, go over some of the details. You guys should all know plenty already. The LG G2 comes with a 5.2-inch full HD display that's 1080p, and they claim it's the world's thinnest, which it would be if it wasn't in this phone with the built-in wireless charging. We got the 2.3 gigahertz quad-core Snapdragon 800 processor under the hood, as well as 2 gigs of RAM and 32 gigabytes of internal storage. So with Verizon, for the same price as the rest, you get 32 gigabytes of storage and wireless charging, all built in, and that's the only model of the G2 that will offer that here in the US. And of course, those buttons are a little different. Then on the back, that 13 megapixel camera has optical image stabilization. We're running Android 4.2 Jelly Bean, and that aside, it's just a sweet phone. But I'll go ahead and push and hold that button there and boot it up. Just kind of give you a quick look at the LG G2. This is kind of hands-on comparison, battle of the buttons, whatever you want to call it. But the 5.2-inch screen is very bright, brilliant, and works great so far. But go ahead and swipe to unlock there, and we are rolling. So you can kind of flip through. It's definitely fast and smooth and stable, and we've seen plenty of this already because we already did kind of a detailed hands-on. They have a lot of little tips and information as you go through things, kind of help you out. So we already showed you plenty of the G2 on our hands-on, so this was more just kind of a comparison to the Verizon model, which is for the most part the same. One thing, I don't know if you guys will be able to see it on screen, since the buttons are on the back, you can't kind of hit anything to turn on the screen, so it's just a quick double tap, turns on the screen, then you swipe to unlock, and you are there. So try that again real quick, just kind of show you. You double tap, screen launches up, and you go ahead and swipe to unlock. And then you can also tap up top or anywhere where there's nothing on the screen to do the same thing and put it to sleep. So kind of a cool idea that I think a lot of phones will actually just incorporate in general, even though they have buttons on the side, because it's super convenient to just double tap the screen, throw it in your pocket, you're ready to go. So that was LG G2 with Verizon, as well as those buttons and standard look on AT&T and everyone else. It's kind of showing you those odd buttons on the back. Stay tuned for more details and a full review coming up quick, guys. Thanks for watching.